Good afternoon. We are here today for a special series of master classes and in conversation sessions brought to you by the Mumbai International Film Festival. Our gratitude goes to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, the National Film Development Corporation, alongside the Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute, Kolkata. A heartfelt thanks to all who support these events. Today's session will delve into the transformative impact of GoPro's camera on action-packed video content and how they have revolutionized vlogging with captivating visuals that grab YouTube audiences. We'll uncover the art of utilizing GoPros to elevate content quality, thereby boosting YouTube monetization through enhanced viewer retention. Join us, we explore the synergy between GoPro usage and YouTube's monetization potential in a session brimming with content, creativity, and technology. Welcome with a warm round of applause, Mr. Suvarna, Director of Marketing and Communications for GoPro India. Mr. Alee, a 22-year-old athlete and adventure filmmaker. Mr. Rane, a chef turned photographer who is renowned for his soulful photography. Mr. Koshy, a president of the viral fever popularly known as TVF. Mr. Teja, a YouTube creator with over 5 million subscribers. And Ms. Rajkumar, head of the Movie Content Partnerships, YouTube. Our show lead for the day is Ms. Vani Tripathi Tikoo, an actor, producer, and the youngest member of the Central Board of Film Certification. Please welcome Ms. Vani Tripathi Tikoo to the stage with a big round of applause. We'll also take your questions after the discussion, so stay tuned.
Thank you, thank you. I'm going to stand for a bit because every time we speak to each other, we are just sitting, you know, talking about things which, you know, look very mundane to all of us. But I think festivals are not about just showing great films to each other, it's also about cinema literacy. We are in a room full of people who have created new paradigms of how we tell stories, and beyond the word of just calling them influencers, they are actually storytellers. So before we start the program, I want you to experience a little bit of the work that each one of us done, so there is a context to what we all will be talking about. Second, let's get it.
जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय, कभी तो हंसाए कभी ये रुलाए, जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय, कभी तो हंसाए कभी भी रुलाए। देखो मन नहीं जागे, पीछे पीछे सपनों के भागे, एक दिन सपनों भरा ही चला जाए सपनों से आगे कहाँ। जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय, कभी तो हंसाए कभी भी रुलाए।
Want to say something? I thought I cut it.
I now invite Mr. Prithul Kumar, Joint Secretary Broadcasting, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and Managing Director of NFTC, to come and felicitate our esteemed guests.
Which means that Prithulji will still stay for the session and be a part of what we are talking about. Right, sir?
Sorry for staying between the show and their felicitation. I think it's very important. First, we honor the panelists, eminent panelists, which we have here. So that's why we wanted to honor them first.
Namrita from YouTube. Vijay Koshy from TVF. Sai Teja, who's come all the way from Hyderabad to be with us. Alee from Kashmir. GoPro. Yatish from GoPro. And Yash. But stay back. Please stay back, Prithulji.
Thank you, Mr. Prithul Kumar. I would now request Ms. Vani to start the session.
I think everything related to cinema, whether they are shorts, whether the short format, the long format, or whether they are documentaries or whether they are long features, they all connect one thing, which is passion for cinema and storytelling. We are actually, I'm honored to be sitting in this esteemed, group of people who basically have broken so many rules in the past couple of years. Now you will say, who made the rules? They were empirical rules of storytelling. And they were rules which, even we as an industry used to adhere to. And also, we talk so much about 75% of India being under 35. But what is young India thinking? What are those minds? What is the kind of stories which is exciting them? And what is influencing them? We do hear the word influencer every single day of our lives, but is it just about influencing or is it about creating opinion? So I think the inquiry today would be what kind of opinions we are creating and what kind of creative instinct is involved within that inquiry. I of course want to start with this 24-year rock star who has 5 million viewership on YouTube, Teja, who's come all the way from Hyderabad. And imagine Sai started creating content. He wasn't just influencing because nobody was ready to finance or do the kind of content he wants to do. Sai, share that journey with us. And you can also speak in Hindi and surprise a few of us.
Okay. So my journey was started way back 2016. My first viral video was what if boy get periods. That was my first video. It went viral in my Telugu states. So later my journey was started going ahead with Infinitum Network Solutions. They start funding me from last 6 years. So soon we just entered into web series thing and we started producing content for YouTube. We made a series called Backbenchers, season 1 and season 2. It was nearly 500 million views in YouTube and everybody know about Backbenchers in our Telugu state. And we are like around 5 million subscribers in YouTube and we are the only the channel in Telugu with 5 million subscribers who do long form content. So that's how my journey was started.
Sai, there has been a huge holocaust of a change in narratives. We have stories on menstrual cycles, we have stories on toilets, we have stories about rural India which never gets spoken of, but your first one is what if a boy gets periods. I mean, tell us a little more into that thought process, what actually made you do it?
Like actually I used to see my relatives around me, they can't even attend any functions at that time and something like they was washed out from the family for 5 days. So then I got an idea, like what if boy get same thing, what all he can do. And later on I just started doing like what if Ram Gopal Verma is your father? What if Ram Gopal Verma is your son? What if Ram Gopal Verma is a software employee? So I started exploring these things. So that's how my journey was started. Later on I started thinking like who are the people going to watch me? Why should they watch me? So I figured out this question and I started finding solution for this. So that's where 5 million people were subscribed.
More power for all the big talk of gender parity. What will be more gender equal than this, you know? A big round of applause for Sai Teja. Thank you so much for telling these stories and keep on. I'm going to come back to you.
Sure.
The gentleman sitting next to him has created a whole universe which is called any guesses? Pa, an, cha, ya, panchayat. How many rejections Vijay did TVF face, you know, before they could tell the story of a small village in North India where there is a Sachivji, there is a Sarpanch, and there's a whole village ecosystem which is globally being watched by I don't know how many millions of people. Tell us about the journey, or the rejections too.
So, rejections is part of our life. I think we started our journey with rejections. Our founder, Arnab Kumar, IIT alum, and he was part of an aeronautical company. But he always wanted to tell stories, and he got into the cinema world for a bit. Post that, he wanted to tell stories for the younger lot who were completely lost with his K-drama, kitchen politics and all of that. So unfortunately they were not watching Indian content. And I'm actually going back to our origin story before we come to Panchayat.
Absolutely.
And he had this idea for a show and he went to MTV and pitched his particular thing, saying that, hey, this is the content, this is the story that I want to tell. And MTV said, no, it won't work. We have our research, we have our findings, we know insights, this won't work. And that's how our journey began. A big no, a capital no, and then we got into YouTube world 2012. Incidentally, YouTube started in April 2005, so I guess in another few months it will be 20 years of YouTube globally. For us it's been slightly over 12 years. Started with the roadies spoof called Rowdies, and it's incredible that even 12 years later, memes of that particular thing keep floating around, and a link to that is the main character who played the spoof is also the director of Panchayat. His name is Deepak Mishra. Panchayat, if in one line you were to describe it, it's a story about a village where nothing happens. It's a random mundane day in the life of a village, and we took it to a lot of platforms, we took it to a lot of brands, and all of them rejected it. So, like I started by saying, if you're interested in creating content, if you're interested in telling your story, if you believe in what you're doing, don't get dejected, don't get hassled. It's not the end of the world. There may be something better for you at some later stage. So that's our story as far as TVF is concerned.
A tailpiece on Panchayat is Pratul Kumarji is sitting here, who's the MD and FDC and Joint Secretary ANB Ministry. We actually, within the International Film Festival of India, Goa, launched the first OTT awards, and hands down, guess who won? Panchayat. So,
and if I were to add, Panchayat is in the 3rd season in Hindi, and for those of you who watch regional content this year, Amazon Prime Video has been generous enough, has been kind enough, and has been believing in our content so much that they have commissioned Tamil and Telugu also. Hopefully soon you will see Panchayat Mandarin, Panchayat Spanish, Panchayat Arabic with all your
nobody from Netflix is here. I hope they don't say that you're not replicating the Narcos model all of a sudden. We talked so much about the ecosystem which has now become a big part of our lives, and that's YouTube. And I'm so happy that Namrata is here, who is with YouTube since a long time, but also the empowering factor being that so many young minds, very much like Sai, who don't have the resource to create stories and put them out, have found reflectiveness in YouTube. Namrata, tell us a story about what's happening beyond monetization. Everybody talks about 5 million followers, so much money. Yeah, it's good that there is financial empowerment, but there is so much happening from rural India. You have people putting out their stories who are truck drivers and talking about food. Tell us a little more about that. Remember, we are in a room full of young filmmakers who will really want to know what the secret behind the recipe is.
Yeah, hi. So actually on YouTube, because of the ability to actually create content in multiple formats, short form, long form, extremely long form, it's actually given it's democratized content creation. It actually has enabled anyone from anywhere in the country to actually become a creator. And we see numerous success stories on a daily basis at YouTube. I can give you some examples. We have this, we have this creator from a rural village in Kerala. His name is KL Bro Biju. He has 50 million subscribers on YouTube. He is basically, his content is around, it's woven around his traditional family setting, it's stories around his family, and somehow it has connected with the masses, and what he's made from YouTube has actually helped uplift his entire family in Kerala. That's one example. We have another example. This is a channel that goes by the name of Indian Farmer. These are two friends who decided that they wanted to just talk about ways to improve agriculture, and they go around, they speak to other farmers in the country, they share tips, and they've touched 5 million subscribers. And then we have the truck driver example that Vani ji said, which is R. Rajesh. He's actually a truck driver that travels around the country. He decided to vlog about what he sees when he drives around the country, the food he makes, and he's gained popularity and has supplemental income, over and above his earnings as a truck driver. So these are examples that
believe you me, the food is delicious. You want to be in that village right there, standing beside that truck, gobbling all of it away.
Yes. So these are just a few, but at YouTube, the world is your oyster. If you have a story to tell, we believe it is one of the best platforms for you to create and share your story.
Talking about democratization of content, COVID, despite being the perilous time it was, created so many avenues of content creation which people had never thought of. Whether it was the boxing of the mind because you couldn't get out of that room, whether it was being with adults who were breathing down your neck for screen time. How did that impact the influencing part, Namrita? And what was it which was new, which came out from those narratives?
Actually, it's during COVID that we did see a huge explosion of content on YouTube. Certain formats such as so obviously things like cooking, do-it-yourself videos. These formats obviously took off because people were at their homes, and this is what they were doing, filming themselves. But certain other genres like motivation, self-help, these kind of genres also really just took off on YouTube, where communities were building around everyone having similar interests, and each one was supporting the other through common interests. So we actually saw an explosion in multiple genres that were not seen before, which happened only during COVID.
Talking about GoPro, which has actually become a kind of a technology which is seriously democratizing shooting or producing content, for the digital space. And Yatish from GoPro has an amazing story to tell us as to how that whole journey started for him. Look at the size of the camera, it's right there. And it's like a joystick in your hand. And a lot of people, when they saw GoPro for the first time, they were like, dude, what is this? How will I edit content that I shoot on this? What kind of resolution will it have? Tell us all.
Alright, thank you Vani for that question, and thank you guys for joining in today. So essentially the story of GoPro began with our CEO and founder wanting to shoot himself, capture himself surfing in
Shoot himself, not with a pistol,
yeah,
shoot
but
himself.
with the camera. And there was nothing available at that time. This is more than 23 years ago. So he decided at that time to just buy a film camera, strap it onto his wrist, and just point it at himself as he goes through the barrel, right? And that's where the idea for GoPro was born. So he said, why not just make it, right? So we ended up, building the brand and building a very, very tiny camera company, which then went digital and then went 4K, and now it's at 5.3K, and it fits into your pocket. It's waterproof out of the box, and you can do this with it. Nothing happens.
No.
Yeah, it survives everything. It's a badass. Our cameras as badass as the accessories that we make, but at the very core, we want to free you to capture your best memories, right? We don't want to come in the way. Normally, हम जब पहले घूमने जाते थे, we'd be like, sir जी एक photo ले लेंगे हमारा. With the GoPro, you don't have to do that. You can just do this, and you can take your own picture, anywhere. Like, you can even talk into the camera. You can say, GoPro, take a photo. It'll take your photo. We have about 20 plus commands that you can.
I think we need a workshop, on that. And
I'd be happy to do
the
it.
good news is, within the festival, there is a workshop happening, and I'm sure the NFDC team will give you details at the end of the show, because I would be there looking at trying to find out. But Yash is a chef and a photographer and has a very interesting journey, a very personalized journey as to how he used GoPro and how did he learn the antics of using GoPro. Share it with us.
So I remember this was 2015 and GoPro was on Hero 4 Black, and that is when I came across this camera. And my friend was pretty frustrated while using it, so I asked him if I can borrow that camera for a few days. I shot a couple of pictures and videos, and I had a fanboy moment, and I sent those pictures and videos to GoPro thinking they would reply back.
So one of the things that people who want to shoot environment and mountains and photography, they're like, no, we need heavy cameras, they need to be very, very dense, and the HD quality has to be great. But here there is Riza, who actually has done, and I don't know, climbed the Everest how many times and so on. Riza, tell us that story, and how are you using GoPro to do things which most people can't think of?
Thank you so much, thanks for having me. Hi everyone. So it all began because I come from a very small village in Kashmir, and I was always inclined towards nature and photography, but I would borrow my uncle's phone, Nokia, and shoot around. And I never really wanted to study, to be very honest, like conventional route. So I failed in my high school. That was one of my turning points, like as Vidya was saying, we need to have like setbacks. So that was my setback in a positive way. So I failed in high school and I completely gave up on studies, and I decided that I have to climb Everest. So I climbed Everest at the age of 18, and I took a picture on Everest of the traffic jam, and a lot of people, it went viral. It was in New York Times and all over the place. And then I came, like I was shooting on GoPro, and I reached out to GoPro India saying, you know what, I've been planning this film because I come from Kashmir and I do a lot of snowboarding in winters. And what would happen is every year, people from the West would come to Kashmir, make films on us, but we won't have in them and just leave. So I was like, as a storyteller, it's my responsibility to do something about it. So I reached out to GoPro. I said, hey, I had this idea, I want to make a film. So I picked up my GoPro, a lot of them, and made an 11-minute film about it, about the man who introduced snowboarding to Kashmir. And so far we've won like 5-6 awards. It's been screened all over the place. And the beauty is, the film is 100% shot on a GoPro. It's literally shot on this camera, and as I say, you don't need a big camera to tell a powerful story. You just need a small camera. You can shoot, and this is to every filmmaker out there, young filmmaker. You don't need big cameras to tell powerful stories. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on a GoPro. So go out there and start creating.
Why should we do Haath Kangan ko Arsi Kya, Padhe Likhe ko Farsi Kya? Second, can we see some of the stuff that we have from GoPro, including these lovely, content creators here?
I think before that, can we have a huge round of applause for, I've never shared a stage with anyone who's climbed the Mount Everest. I think it's a big deal.
I want to tell you a story about a very small little company that set out to build wrist cameras for surfers. Nicholas Woodman, welcome. I want to tell you the story about this little wrist camera company. I want to tell you about GoPro. To document my experience for a surf trip that I was taking. And so I went to work on this concept that I've had for a wrist camera that I could wear while I was surfing. Join me in welcoming Nicholas Woodman. Welcome, buddy. Hi, Dave. Thank you. You know, this is an amazing idea. First time the world has been able to capture and share its passions like never before. The Hero 3 camera is the most powerful way to capture and share this incredible experience that is your life.
Delivers images that are comparable to highly expensive professional cameras.
GoPro is a movement where, more than ever before, people around the world are capturing and sharing their life experiences. Immersive, engaging footage of their life experiences.
before we go forward, why don't you briefly tell us about the awards, because one saw that amazing, this, and I'm sure there are a lot of filmmakers in the audience who would want to know what are these awards about, and how is GoPro facilitating, these kind of narratives.
Right. All right. I'll quickly touch upon that. So awards, the GoPro Awards program is like one of my favorite parts of my work life because it just enables so many of you creators to actually get hold of a GoPro, shoot some content, win real money, as in make real money, and also we support you in with the cameras and other bits. But it all starts with GoPro Awards. So essentially, what it is it's a global repository of content. If you have a GoPro, you go to gopro.com/awards, you upload that content piece. It could be an image or video, right? Now, globally, we have an awards budget. Every country we are present in has a budget that we give our content creators. So, in India, we award up to $250 for a single image that's uploaded to awards. If it's creative, if it raises the bar of creativity, if it tells a story, if it highlights a specific GoPro feature like hyper smooth, slow-mo, if it captures a human emotion or a pet's emotion or a baby's emotion, just anything that makes you get a bit of goosebump, we put that content in a different calendar. We post it on our social handles, and if your content is really great, we actually go out there and give you hard cash, right? Globally, we are at about 55 million strong on various social networks, including YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. But the coolest part is we are the #1 community outside of US, which is in India, followed by Brazil. So that tells that I just want to tell you guys that it's a very real window that you can be a part of. It's a very real money that you can make. It's a very real platform where you can get featured in front of millions. These two guys, he's been with us since the beginning. He's joined us recently, but he's already made a film that's gone global, right? So definitely go to gopro.com/awards. We have it on our website. Read the literature and put some stellar content out there and make the world your oyster, quite literally.
Thank you. Before I open up to the audience, I'm sure there's so many questions. Sai, how has your life changed from the time that you made that Boy in the Period film, and in this little journey, and you're just 24, there is a huge number of, conscious content time which is still yet to come. What is it you want to do? And tell us about the change that you faced.
Basically, COVID helped everyone. In the digital space, people got lot of opportunities to showcase their talent, irrespective of budgets, irrespective of equipments and everything. Wherever you are, you can start making content with your phone. So that's how my journey has to started. So later, everything was fall into place. That's how it's all started. And
what is the change that you've seen, and what is it that you want to do further?
The change
Karna
is
kya hai aage?
आगे करना है. We got good budgets. आगे तो करने का है OTT है, cinema है, and we have all the platforms one-on-one. Right now we are working on YouTube very seriously, and we are teaming up everybody, and we are involving everybody who are interested in this filmmaking, content creation, who are very much interested in writing, acting, direction, and myself, I write, direct and act. So that's how I just want to go ahead with very big picture. So yeah.
So one final comment, starting with you, Namrita. What is the future of content in India? And Indian content is global today. I think there's a convergence of ideas when we see, or when we remember what each one of us said. How do you see the story going bigger further on?
I think so. We are, we are surprised with what we see on YouTube every day. You actually see it's creators like Teja, like Viral Fever, who actually write the script. We do feel that Indian content can actually go global in a very serious way. The platform really allows for that. We do end up seeing a lot of viewership from outside India, and we do see Indian stories go more and more global. We see a lot more awareness. And so that's a positive trend that we do see, and we encourage talent. We celebrate our creators.
What would you say to all the people sitting in this hall who want to be, YouTubers and want to have a channel of their own? What are you going to say to them?
I would just say start now. It's really simple to start a YouTube channel. Express yourself, your talent. Be okay with, just upload a video first. Start. Don't sit for months and think about what, whether your content is good or not. Just start, and then as you improve, as you upload, you get into the flow of things. I'm sure Sai will say the same thing. Improve something every day, and then you'll get into the flow of things, and it starts becoming easy, and then you'll just end up seeing the platform actually give you wings and support you as you end up reaching more and more viewers. You'll end up seeing more opportunities. I think the opportunities are endless. So I would just say start right away and don't hesitate.
Vijay, what do you think? Panchayat season 3 of course just dropped, but what else is happening in your universe, and how do you see this going global?
I'll come back to Panchayat 3 like always. On what Namrata was saying, we interact with a lot of brands also and creators also. And we tell them that, hey, this is something like swimming, right? How did you learn to swim? You didn't learn to swim by walking around the pool. You jumped into the pool, right? You wet your feet. You have to take first few steps. You might swallow a little extra water. You might go under for a bit. It may be a little uncomfortable, but eventually you get it. So you have to take the first few steps. So that's the whole thing. So. And I started by saying that embrace rejections. I mean, that's part of life. Even if and there's young superstar at 24, even someone like him, there's ups and downs in everyone's life. Sachin Tendulkar went through it, Virat Kohli went through it. Everyone goes through it. So there's nothing to get hassled about. Keep trying. I mean, this new cricketer who's playing for USA. The Maharashtrian boy from Borivali was part of the under-19 team, got rejected, never got to play for India, never got IPL contract, goes to US as an engineer, works in Oracle, and then he shows up for the USA team. And he takes a wicket of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli after almost 10-12 years. And incidentally, his sister says that he goes for the matches and then comes back to the hotel room with his laptop, and he continues coding and does whatever else. So I mean, both your lives continue. So and somebody mentioned dinosaur and the YouTube world. I'm the essential dinosaur. I've been around for more than 30 years in this business, in the business of communication, advertising, media. And if I can survive and I can still steer one of the biggest content companies in the country, I mean, now we are spoken of in the same breath as a Dharma or an Excel or a Balaji or what have you. Any of you can make it. So don't get hassled by it. Coming back to your question, Vaniji, lots more shows, and after 12 years, after the success that Panchayat has got, or a Gullak has got, or an Aspirant has got, or a Kota Factory has got, I mean, I can keep rattling a name. I think, incidentally, another fun fact, sorry, I just had to say this. I'm sure most of you have at least heard of, or if not heard of, used IMDb, imdb.com, right? It has a top 250 shows in the world. There's a global top 250 shows list. So it's got shows like Breaking Bad, it's got shows like Friends, Succession, etc., etc. India has 11 shows in that list. 11 shows in the top 250 global. Of those 11, 7 are from the house of TVF. Okay, so
big round of applause for that.
No, and there's another. Of those 7, 5 have debuted on YouTube with a brand. So the point that I'm trying to make is there's such a great platform you have in YouTube. Go ahead, just go tell your story, do whatever you have to. Kota Factory debuted on YouTube, Aspirants debuted on YouTube. Pictures debuted on YouTube. Ye Meri Family debuted on YouTube, and there are lots more. And the most of Bollywood now applauds and recognizes what we do because of the stuff that we put on YouTube. YouTube is our R&D lab. Okay, there's another small story I have to tell you. This is about a garment company, and they put a research company to figure out what is it that we can actually do to sell more garments. So they did a study, and they spoke to lots of consumers in India, and they said, somebody said I use 4 undergarments, somebody said 5, somebody said 6, and then the average came to some 5 is what they assumed. So they said, oh, okay, there's scope to increase the number of units sold. But when they actually went and spoke to 30 odd consumers themselves, they went into different markets, they realized that the average is 1.5. So if you will follow what insights and what global platforms tell you, that's not the be-all and end-all of life. You have to believe that, hey, there is a story that I can tell. You have to believe, you have to be in touch with the consumers. That's where YouTube is very, very helpful. Like, while you say Panchayat is the biggest show, yes, I agree, Panchayat is the biggest. I still don't know how many people have seen it. But in YouTube, the benefit is I know whether 10 million have seen it, 20 million have seen it, 100 million have seen it. So that's the numerical, the quantitative aspect that YouTube brings into our life. It's a huge learning for us. And despite us doing so much work with OTTs, we can tell you that we will continue putting out stories on YouTube till the day we are there. Yeah, so that's a commitment that we have. Just for the storytelling narrative. It's not because
we have to, people want to ask questions. So just one thing.
Sure.
I want to introduce one person who's sitting in the audience but is a force behind Sai Teja, and this will tell you why content creation, is not just a monolith. I want to introduce Rahul Raghavendra, who works with Sai Teja and produces most of his shows and remains in the background because he believes that the force behind, each of the shows that, Teja's channel puts out, gets to the real people. Sorry, Vijay, I butt in, but I know there are a few questions and I've been told I only have 10 minutes because we have to keep time. Any of you who have questions, please do not give opinions, ask very sharp, short questions, and also give us your name while you ask the question. The young person there, yeah.
Hi, my name is Hemant. My question is to the GoPro team. I myself own a GoPro 10. Wonderful camera, but the biggest challenge I face with the camera to create something cinematic is the inability to create a depth of field, right? So everything is in focus. I'm not able to shift focus from one subject to a different subject. And I think iPhones even have that option now of changing focus. Will we see that option in the upcoming versions of GoPro? And how do we create the videos to be more cinematic? Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Hemant, for the question. I think it's a really interesting one, and Yash and Riza, feel free to chime in. So, as you know, GoPro has been in the game for perspectives, right? We tell the POV story. We put you in the middle of the action, right? That's where we come from. But having said that, we have been pushing the cinema envelope since a couple of years quite aggressively. GoPros have been used in Top Gun Maverick, Monkey Man very recently, Elephant Whisperer, tons and tons of movies. We did Malang also a few years back, when it was used for its 4K and 5.3K prowess. So yes, cinema is, we are pushing towards the cinema arena very aggressively. And with our imminent launch coming up this year, again in September and later, you never know, we might do something very, very specific to cinema. I'm not supposed to talk about this, but I just am going to tell you anyways.
But if you saw the AV, that's one of the reasons I put it in the middle. I was actually very concerned when I started reading up on GoPro, whether there's density, whether you get the depth of frame. You would have actually noticed from what they were doing at 2002 to now, you almost see that, there's depth of frame created very much as the image, goes angular. That is what I noticed. So your question is valid, and yes, that is one of the questions a lot of people ask. If small cameras can give you the depth of frame, for shooting, because after all, a lot of that will be random and improvisational.
Right. I mean, just one quick effort bit I'll tell you is the effort that is in that direction, Hemant, is that with the new latest 2 cameras, you can shoot at something called as 8:7 ratio. Now what it does is with that single 8:7 ratio video, you can pull out a taller frame that can go on a TikTok or a taller format like Instagram more recently, or you can pull out a 16:9 that is very YouTube specific. And a lot of creators, because our changes come in from direct feedback from the people who use it, right? So great question, and we are definitely, we're going to do more in that region. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll just elaborate, you all people there, nice to listen to you. Vani, with all these 6 people, can they just elaborate where the young talents of India, if they do, how will they showcase their talents, and what exactly is content different from the things we have been watching and all that, and what serious way it's landing? As she said, just do, and as Vijay said, just go. Brands and how to top notch the giants who are already there. It's very hard to tackle and to become the next superstars. We have got.
Vijay.
I'm sorry. Sorry, we have got.
Got it.
I want everybody to be on the stage, people to become Gulzar, Shyam Benigal, Prasun Joshis, but it's very hard for them to, showcase their talents. What is the things you have in mind as experienced people?
Thank you.
Kota Factory Season 3 is launching in a couple of days. There's a very famous quote in that, a very famous dialogue in that saying, जीत की तैयारी क्या है? Why are we always so obsessed about that? तैयारी करना ही जीत है. So the whole thing is you'll have to keep trying it. Why are we worried about toppling giants? You can coexist with giants also. I mean, when we started out in 2012, we didn't know we'll be in 2024 launching 20 shows in a year. So I think we just stay focused, keep at it on a daily basis, be authentic, don't give up. I mean, that's all the advice that I can give.
So Jeet Ki Tayari is available for a little 90-second reflection. Second, can we have a Jeet Ki Tayari that will be a showcase window on something that you're asking? Let's have that.
Never stop creating for India. So it all began in 2008. When we didn't know, we'd be known by what we create.
From creator, uploader, unknown YouTuber, we became the OG online kalakars and superstars.
Shooting from our rooms in Jugaadu ways. From wherever we can, even outer space. Never stop, never stop, never stop, never stop, never stop. Mangalyaan, Chandrayaan. We watched it live, like we were in the front row. Content like jobs lead thousands of crores to our GDP. We're a creator nation, inspiring a generation. Never stop, never stop creating for India. Suvarna.
So thank you so much, each one of you. I think we can go on for hours and hours and hours. And in this room, full of possibilities, I think each challenge is an opportunity. And I think that is what we stand for each day, being the diverse country that we are. And as he said, Jeet Ki Tayari, even the universe conspires when you manifest, something that you really want to do. Thank you so much, everybody, for being so patient for this, session this afternoon. And I think conversations can only start a journey. The rest of the journey can follow suit as stories that we always belong to, that are within us, come out.
Vani, just one more point I'd like to I love the words Vijay and Navata you guys have shared. Truly inspiring. Long story short, I think there is a world for everybody, right? There is a world wherein a beautifully edited video can exist, high production qualities, but there is a world wherein a simple something shot on a GoPro or a smartphone can exist too and inspire millions. So go out there and make that video.
we have the platform.
Yash, Yatish, Reza, Sai, Vijay and Namrita, it was wonderful having you over. Keep telling stories and keep belonging to stories that belong to each one of us. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Vani, for